I still can't get over how sluggish Ubuntu or Ubuntu here is. Over the years I've had several people telling me I need to try it out because it's such a wonderful operating system. And I can understand why somebody might like this over a traditional Linux or Unix install. It's pretty uncomplicated. It sort of reminds me of old Mac OS prior to Mac OS X. It's very user-oriented. Very little you have to do as a user to keep it working or to even use it. But I can't get over how slow and sluggish it is. And that's comparing it directly to a install of NetBSD 8 that I had on here a couple days ago. Even the VNC viewer is shockingly slow. My 50 megahertz Amiga 2000 does a far better job as a VNC workstation than this thing does, with being 3 gigahertz and 100 megabit internet and everything, or network and everything. So Ubuntu has got to go. Now my intent here is to get Windows XP back on this thing so I can capture video from my toaster, but I cannot find my copy of Windows XP. I've got an actual XP installation disk that I purchased with a key or product key, and I don't know where that is. Now while I was looking for that, I found some amazing things. A DME catalog on CD and a whole plethora of other things, but I got this backup copy of a Windows XP installation disk. Looks like my brother's handwriting. I am not sure how I acquired this, and it looks like there was a product key scribbled on here that somebody crossed out, obviously because it wasn't legal to use this copy by itself. Now I'm tempted to install this and see if I can get excuse me, see if I can get my Windows 2000 product key to activate Windows XP. And I suppose it's worth a try while I can't find my XP disks. And on the other hand, I wonder if I should just go ahead and install NetBSD back on this thing so it's a usable computer again until I can find my XP disks. Installing NetBSD takes a couple of hours. I have to say though, it takes considerably less time than installing this Ubuntu or Ubuntu. This is another thing I was kind of shocked about. The installation process for this operating system, while it was more user-friendly, it was incredibly slow. And you know, I'm installing NetBSD from a CDR, and Ubuntu or Ubuntu will not fit on a CDR, so I've got it on an SD card. Now I would have thought the SD card should be a little bit faster than one of these CDs, but maybe not. In any case, the installation stalls very early. It stalls for about a half hour, and several times I turned the machine off thinking it was just locked up and not going to work. But eventually I let it run overnight and it worked. And NetBSD is a lot quicker to install than that, although it's a lot more involved. If you've never installed NetBSD before, it's not the most straightforward thing to do, but of course if you have installed it before, it's not so difficult. But I think I may give this XP disk a go. Windows XP doesn't take doesn't take that long to install, I don't think. And the worst thing that happens is I end up installing NetBSD anyway. So let's see if this Windows XP disk even works. It's not in the best condition. And again, I'm not sure why I even have this, or how I got it. See if Ubuntu here does anything when I install a disk. Probably not, which is not terrible. Now part of that may be because I've installed GNOME instead of KDE. Well, the drive is spinning up. Let's see if anything happens. Huh. Something happened. Not sure what. Well, if I needed to, I'd figure it out. Let's see if this XP disk boots. Probably not. Probably I have the BIOS settings wrong. Let's see if I can reboot this thing. I guess I'm not sure why that didn't boot. Although maybe the disk is not bootable. It kind of looks that way. I guess I should have made an attempt to read the disk before I tried to boot from it. So that's what I'll do. I don't know if this Ubuntu is going to load. I know that every time I've gotten it to work I had to turn off ACPI, and I'm not sure why that is. NetBSD seems to work with it enabled. Conversely, Ubuntu seems to work with the Nouveau drivers for the NVIDIA graphics that are built into this motherboard, where the Nouveau drivers that come with NetBSD do not work, so I have to similarly manually boot every time. I have to disable the Nouveau drivers in NetBSD. And I think this is going to stall, and that's where it stalls. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to do. It's going to sit here and do nothing. And then I'd have to reboot and disable ACPI. I know the screen flickers a couple times here, but I don't think anything ever actually happens. I left it sit for several hours twice doing this and nothing ever happened. But in any case, I'll get it booted, I'll check out that disk, see if it's even readable, see if it's bootable. And if not, I guess it's straight back to NetBSD.